You're right, guys. I'm not on my usual setup here on Open Mic Night. I do apologise because how warm my room is getting. That's why I'm not using it as much as I would want to. But I just want to point this out to everyone out there, right? I've scrolled Facebook, I've scrolled TikTok, I've scrolled here on YouTube. The male fans, wrestling fans, are uniting together as one. I did a video as well on TikTok, I'll admit it, that the one Night of Champions cancelled or relocated because of what has actually happened in recent events. And it proves one thing: greed. Because it's Tuesday, the 26th of June 2025, and we have not had no word whatsoever this event's been cancelled and moved on, right? If they cancel the event, it'll jeopardise them $50 million, right? They're already $3 billion in dirt. What's 50 million? You know, if they cancel it, 50 million plus. Keep that in mind. They've got some people that are working backstage, etc., production team and everything. They travelled early. They're stranded in Qatar because they can't get any fucking flights out to Saudi Arabia because of what has happened. You know? If they were that bothered to put this on, why didn't they use the WWE private jet to get everyone out there then? You know, it's now Tuesday. They need to act upon it. They need to act upon it and fast to decide what they're going to do. You know, is it going to be cost effective or is it not? You know, they need to move it fast. I've been saying this. I said this in my video. They need to move it fast. And if this goes ahead, it just proves they don't care about their fan base that have warned them to make sure their wrestlers safe. They don't care about the people that are actually wrestling for them, right? They're just trying to prove a point that Nick Khan stated. We don't listen to the fans. Even Triple H stated that when he brought R-Truth back. It was all part of the show, you know. They're just doing it to prove a point. They're not actually listening to us. If you are not listening to us, why are we funding you? You know, it makes no sense when people like respect this company, but I respect it as a fan perspective. This is why I do my videos what I do. And I want to say that you've got no respect for your roster. You've got no respect for people that are actually working for you. You treat them as numbers, you know? The pressure's on to these wrestlers to make themselves a household name, granted, but to make WWE continue relevancy. Even though, yeah, sometimes the storylines we do not agree with. Or shocking moments. We've only had 3 shocking moments this past year so far that we could actually talk about. So far the highlights of 2025. The TLC match on SmackDown. You got John Cena's pipe bomb and R-Truth coming back and cutting his hair. You know? Why do you think people will talk about those? Because they care about the business. If people may think they don't, but they care about the business because they fund the business. You know, what's $50 million to WWE? No great deal, is it? Because granted, they're in debt, $3 billion. They want to try and make as much money as they can to prove a point. But I tell you one thing, I'm really surprised if the wrestlers still go ahead with the show. I know they will do because they want that giant paycheck that they get for doing a Saudi Arabia show they once get and always get from the Saudi royal family. But the problem where it lies is you're putting people's lives at risk. I know this might sound over dramatic, but if it was that over dramatic, why have you closed the airspace? So there's no planes, no helicopters, and everything. You know, I think they get the right to shoot them down if they go into the air. So WWE, hurry up and make your decision, because end of the day, this is my plea to TKO. I know TKO won't listen to me because I'm a little YouTuber compared to some of the big YouTubers that we've got. But at least one thing, we all think the same, near enough. They want this show cancelled or moved to a different location. and it's not. It seems like it's not going to happen that way. You know, they are barking mad for making this show go ahead. Yes, there's a lot of proper, but the one thing I never got right. I never got where the reason why I'm saying this, that when Vince made the deal to do these shows, right? I never got the idea behind it, but then you think how ruthless Vince is. He's the one who continued over the age of 1999, continued throughout the year. They didn't cancel the live broadcast. The show must go on, sort of vibe. So you can understand why, right? Oh, okay. 2 days after the World Trade Center, they decided to put SmackDown on. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was an okay thing to do, I guess. People may think, oh yeah, they praised them and all that lot, do it. I think that a lot of people didn't praise them for doing that. That was 2 days straight after the World Trade Center. This is why I feel like it's still going to go ahead in fucking Saudi Arabia, right? Then the weird thing about it was they cancelled a European tour when Eddie Guerrero passed away. It doesn't make sense, does it? Really doesn't make sense. So you're willing to cancel a whole European tour, leg of the tour, for someone that passes away, but you rather continue on a show after what the United States has done to. I can't word it right on YouTube, can I? But if you know what I mean. But you want to put your roster at risk? You really want to put your roster at risk? It's just one thing after another. This since TKO's taken over. Yes, Vince put these shows in power with the contract signing and everything back in the day. But at the end of the day, I feel like you don't really care about your roster. You just want to roll in that money. You know, I'll be annoyed if I worked for that company, if I ever did. You know, because at the end of the day, I'll be speaking my mind and telling the truth. These shows shouldn't go. This show shouldn't go ahead. This should be moved to somewhere like the Performance Center. You know, it angers me to think that TKO can think this could still go ahead. It's now Tuesday evening here in the United Kingdom, and we've had no official word whatsoever. Yet all the dirt sheets are reported. How can this show still go ahead when there's banned aerospace until further notice? You know, so many planes at the moment have been landed, but what are they going to do? Use their own private jet, get wrist shot out the sky, just to put on a wrestling show for the fucking people that may not even now attend because they are worried if there is any attacks or and everything. It's just mental at the moment, you know. And I was never, like I've said earlier on, I was never a fan of the Saudi shows. But at least one thing I can actually say, you've actually built a Saudi show. Within the last 3 years, you've actually managed to build one. You know, make it worthwhile. Not treat it like a glorified house show. Like when they first started. But I'm in 50-50 minds with this. But TKO, you should really consider people's safety. Not consider your pockets.